You are 30 years old and you just got the title Senior Manager. The email lands at 4:47 p.m. on a Thursday, and you read it 3 times before you let yourself believe it. Your base goes from $112,000 to $134,000. Bonus target moves from 15% to 20%. There's a stock grant, RSUs, $40,000 vesting over 4 years. You forward the email to your father, who replies, "Proud of you, son," in lowercase from a phone he barely knows how to use. And that lowercase reply lands somewhere in your chest that surprises you. You head out that evening and opt for the second cheapest bottle on the menu, as choosing the very cheapest seems too timid. The next morning, you wake up with a slight headache and a sense that something has begun. What you don't yet grasp is that it's the ticking of a clock. Your first year with the new job title is a whirlwind of proving yourself. You lead a team of 7, sitting in meetings where decisions happen above your level, observing how those in higher positions conduct themselves. It becomes clear that promotions aren't for the intellectual elite. They're for those who simplify their boss's day in ways easily articulated further up the chain. You become one of those people. By age 31, your name is synonymous with taking on challenging, cross-functional projects that others shy away from. You not only take them on, but see them through to completion. You handle late nights without complaints, the hallmark of those earmarked for promotion. At 32, your salary hits $158,000 and you save 11% of it, not because you lack the means to save more, but because your lifestyle expands to fill available resources, akin to water conforming to a glass. Your home, a 1-bedroom apartment with a doorman, represents a trade-off. Less commute stress is worth the $400 monthly extra. A Peloton was also purchased. You enthusiastically ride initially, but it eventually becomes more neglected. Individually, every expense seems justifiable. Collectively, you avoid tallying them because it would require confronting a question you're not ready to face. At the midway point of the corporate ladder, incremental lifestyle enhancements aren't failures in discipline. They are how the system is designed to function. Your salary compels dependency on itself. At 33, you earn a promotion to director, bumping your base salary to $172,000, along with a 25% bonus target. You now oversee 3 managers and transition from doing the work to delegating it. This shift impacts you physically. Your sleep suffers. Your girlfriend, Hannah, working in marketing, notes your distracted demeanor on weekends. You try harder to focus for a brief period, until quarterly reviews pull you back into perpetual connectivity. Your net worth at this age is approximately $229,000, excluding your seldom-used car. By all external benchmarks, you're thriving. Internally, you feel similarly successful. Cracks in this perception haven't yet formed. They're still 2 years out. At 34, your company is acquired by a larger private equity-backed competitor. Come Friday of announcement week, there's a new organizational chart. Your position remains while 3 peers lose theirs. You witness Dario, an 11-year veteran with deep supply chain expertise and familial responsibilities, exit at 2 p.m., carrying his belongings in a box. Speaking to him seems inappropriate. Nobody does. That night he sends a polite farewell email, one which you save but don't respond to for 6 weeks. A shift has occurred. Home that Friday night, you pour a drink, ponder Dario's 11 years and his paltry severance, a trade-off he couldn't afford to contest given personal stakes. You consider your own career longevity ahead and dislike the implications of similar severance prospects. The second rule emerges. Salaries are leased income, terminable unexpectedly by decision-makers. Intellectually understood years ago, watching Dario made this knowledge visceral. Driven by newfound curiosity rather than bitterness, a lesser emotion. You're drawn into reading about ownership versus employment models. Terms like carry and management fee become familiar as you learn about structures that allow partners at acquiring firms lower tax rates on substantially larger incomes. You reflect deeply on these disparities but remain open-minded and curious, qualities that demand thoughtful engagement and eventual action. At 35, you raise your savings rate from 11% to 26% in one weekend. You move out of the doorman building. You use the second bedroom as an office because you have started doing something on weekends you have not yet told John about. You are building something. A website that reviews enterprise software for a vertical you happen to know intimately because of your day job. You write the reviews on Saturday mornings. You publish on Sunday nights. The site makes $0 for 4 months, then $80 in month 5. By month 9, $1,200. You don't tell anyone at work. You eventually tell John one Saturday night when she notices the office light has been on every weekend for a year. He listens and replies with a simple, "Okay," a response that suggests he's holding back judgment. For now, which seems fair. The third rule says that your salary covers your weekdays, but how you spend your weekends determines whether you truly own anything in life. At 36, your peer at the director level, Priya, who you thought was a shoo-in for a VP position, gets overlooked. The spot goes to an outsider from a rival company. Priya learns this through the same company-wide email as everyone else. She handles it professionally and starts interviewing elsewhere 6 weeks later. 4 months after that, she's gone. The new VP is competent, but not necessarily better than Priya, just someone from outside the company, which seemed to matter more than the 3 years of proven performance Priya had offered. You observe all of this in silence, yet internally, a realization settles in. Corporate advancement isn't truly based on merit. It's a meritocracy about 60% of the time, sufficiently high to make it feel legitimate, but low enough to derail a career on an unlucky Thursday. Your site at 36 makes $4,800 a month. You raise prices on the sponsorship slots. 2 advertisers churn, 3 new ones sign at the higher rate. You learn something that does not exist anywhere in your day job. When you own the thing, the upside accrues to you. When you work for the thing, the upside accrues to someone whose name is on a building you have never visited. At 37, you get promoted to VP base, $215,000. Bonus target 35%. New stock grant $180,000 over 4 years. The promotion is real. You earned it. You're less impressed by titles now than you would have been 4 years ago, having gained a clearer understanding of what they truly signify. A title acts more like a longer leash rather than true ownership. The company extends just enough freedom to keep you from leaving, and no more than that. Your website at age 37 generates $11,000 monthly. You bring on board an editor named Lucas, based in Lisbon, who works for $2,200 a month and performs better than you at the role. It dawns on you that you've unknowingly stepped into the role of an employer, a small-scale, unintentional, yet legitimate one. The fourth rule states that employees pay tax first and subsist on the remainder. In contrast, owners prioritize living first and then pay taxes on what's left. This distinction becomes evident only after you've experienced both sides of issuing a paycheck. At 38, the company you've been with announces another restructuring, altering your position as a VP. The change is described as a lateral move in the consulting deck's jargon, but in real life, it translates to a demotion under the same title with reduced responsibilities. This is communicated to you by Kestrel, a member of the new HR team flown in from Dallas whom you've never met before, reading from a prepared script. That evening at home, as John cooks pasta, you share what has transpired. He quietly listens and then broaches the question that's lingered between you for 2 years, unspoken. "What does the site make now?" he asks. You respond, $19,000 a month in profit, after covering, hosting costs, and a part-time bookkeeper. John then inquires about your day job. You reply, $215 base salary, potentially $300 with bonuses. He calculates aloud. The site, which is growing by 40% annually, now generates more post-tax income than your job does, considering the favorable tax treatment of pass-through business income compared to W-2 earnings. He wonders why you still go to the office. You're left without any definitive answers, only excuses about health insurance, stability, vesting schedules, maintaining identity, party stories, parental pride, and the false assurance that job security comes with having a substantial title at a reputable company. However, you've witnessed firsthand how even those with significant titles aren't immune to sudden departures, watching colleagues being escorted out with cardboard boxes. The certainty once felt has eroded into mere hope. John doesn't press further. He finishes making pasta. You eat together in silence, not out of hostility, but as two people acknowledging a shared shift in perspective. At 39, you hand in your notice. You arrange a meeting with your manager. Delivering your resignation is straightforward. Adele, a genuine person, expresses surprise and questions if it's about salary. You assure her it's not. She asks about your future plans. After explaining them, she pauses and admits she wasn't aware of your side endeavors. Her slow nod suggests an understanding beyond words. You conclude your final workday on a Friday with a small farewell, just a card and a bottle of wine you'll likely not open. At home that weekend, for the first time in nearly 10 years, you feel the time is truly yours. The fifth rule: the corporate ladder is part of someone else's property. You can climb it for 30 years and still wake up renting. At 40, your net worth is $740,000. The site does $31,000 a month. You have hired 2 more people. You have started a second site in an adjacent vertical. You have not bought a more expensive apartment. Hannah is your wife now. Consider the younger version of yourself, receiving an email at 4:47 p.m. on a Thursday at age 30. This version of you who opted for the second cheapest bottle and shared the news with his father. There's no need to judge him harshly. He followed the path laid out, advancing steadily, excelling in environments filled with others doing the same. He rightfully earned every promotion, and by all available metrics at the time, he was succeeding. However, he wasn't fully aware of the game he was playing. Unbeknownst to him, there were 2 boards at play. The visible board consisted of titles, bonuses, and organizational charts, where salaries were predetermined by someone else. Meanwhile, the invisible board, which his company never mentioned because no one there was on it either, represented a realm without predefined limits. He spent his 30s on the visible board and succeeded there, but that victory cost him a decade. Somewhere in this city right now, a 30-year-old is reading an email offering a senior manager position with a base salary of $134,000, a 20% bonus, and a stock grant. He's forwarding the email to his father, believing it to be the start of something significant. And he's correct, though he's unaware of just what that is. The clock started the moment that email arrived. It always does. It always will.